are live.
Well,
And I made sure
hype,
to. What?
hype.
I mean, we're not really live. I'm going to cut this out unless I forget. Or maybe I'll leave it
Yeah.
in to be funny,
Oh
which
yeah,
means I'll probably leave it in.
let's go.
Howdy, guys. We're back with another 1v1, this time King of Albanian versus Hirooo, and I've got a guest joining me today.
Hello, that's me.
Do they know
I'm the
who me
guest.
is?
Who am I? I'm Anonymous from the forum, I guess.
Yes.
Some might know me.
Yes. Did you... Your account, was it also anonymous in-game, or did you have
Yeah.
another account?
No, this was actually my account, and I actually used the same, typing error because, Anonymous was already taken, so,
Uh-huh.
well,
Yeah.
know. Bad luck.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about these two players, King of Albanian and Hirooo?
Well, probably most of us know Hero. He was maybe the best Shadow Frost player.
Mm-hmm.
And King of Albanian is actually, it's another pretty good, well-known player, I guess. But mostly for his attitude, I guess, because I don't know. he had another account before and was known to be, let's say, emotional
Oh, okay.
about what was happening in game.
Uh-huh.
So. But he was a very good player, so, I mean, should be a good game.
Uh-huh. We've got lots of Forsaken squads. We traded 2 for 2, but they also got the Dread Charger down.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Tier 1 Mirrors gets down to this point where everyone just spams Forsaken, and it's actually kind of tricky to realize when they hit the critical mass, so you can just go for a push.
Uh-huh.
But in this case, it didn't work.
Yeah, but correct me if I've miscounted, but did King of Albanian get a slight power advantage?
Yeah, he actually did. Which is interesting because normally in Shadow Tier 1 player mirror games, the player who plays a bit passive, at least at the start of the Tier 1, gets an advantage due to the fact that the one who is attacking normally has to push into a standing army of Forsaken.
Uh-huh.
And it's normally doesn't get to the point where a Nasty, especially a Nasty in like such a clustered close position, works. But in this case, King of Albanian did get a pretty good Nasty in at the start.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Got some tempo and could have used this, I guess, correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, on those random maps, it's often pretty hard to attack because they are, I don't know how to generalize this, but as you can see, it's mostly one fighting area,
Right.
And
lots of like choke points.
Yeah, I mean, in Shadow Mirrors, it's a bit less punishing.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to like Fire Tier 1 mirrors, right, where it's very hard to just push into those choke points.
Mm-hmm. We've got a Tier 2 from King of Albanian.
Yeah. I mean...
You think that Nasty was worth it? Not really?
No, it wasn't. The point is, it's still pretty scary because 4 Forsakens are easily enough to pressure a power well if they get like motivated and frenzied.
Right.
So even though the Nasty wasn't really power efficient, it still forces an reaction from Hero.
It forces a what?
Oh, a reaction. So he has to spend power. And yeah, even those Forsakens are which just survived with like half HP are probably easily enough to deal like 300 damage to the power well.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of tricky. And King of Albanian, actually, if I counted correctly, has like 3 wells versus 4 wells right now. So he is actually in the position to push.
Right.
And
But
yeah, right there was like a Weaver Nesty, which is a key thing to remember in Shadow Frost Mirrors, because the Weaver Nesty deals around, I think, 1050 damage to a power well.
does it do that
So,
much? I thought they capped it.
yeah, they kept it at 1000, right? I'm not sure anymore.
That's what I thought, but I may be wrong.
But what I was going to point out was that it means that the Shadow Frost player always has to keep an eye on the HP of his power well,
Right.
because, yeah, especially in the early game where an attack like looks like it is going to fall out in the next like few seconds, people just try to save their repairs and go for the manual repair where you get like a full refund of the energy.
Right.
Yeah, and this is actually like he's trading a cold snap and a nightcrawler, which he actually instantly frenzied on the top there.
Yeah.
Just to get 2 nightcrawlers, which is not really power efficient because he loses like 15 energy in this trade.
Yeah.
But I mean, after all, it's not really. I mean, this 15 energy will not like decide the game, especially because the distance between both players is so huge on this map.
Yeah, exactly.
That small tempo advantages don't really matter.
Yeah, and they're both playing like Frost, which is
Shadow
pretty
Frost,
defensive.
yeah, it's
based on the way they're just welling up, I'm guessing both of them have super large tier 3s.
Yeah, but I mean, I heard a lot of people complaining about Shadow Frost tier 3 being too strong, and maybe it actually was too strong. I mean, I'm not the one to judge, but I think there are different ways to approach a game. Comparing like Shadow Frost to, for example, Fire Nature, where people tend to play a pretty large tier 2,
right.
Which, I mean, it comes down to Fire Nature not having like an XL unit in tier 3, and also I would say generally a weaker tier 3, but Fire Nature players, for example, go for a large tier 2, not only that was actually pretty close.
Yeah.
Not only in cards, but also in card slots. So I think if somebody plays like 8 cards in tier 3, he should be allowed to have an advantage there over someone who plays, 2 or 3 cards, right?
For sure. I think part of the argument with that, though, is that Fire Nature is not really possible to play while also leaving 8 cards for tier 3.
Yeah, that's another story. But you cannot really argue the tier 2 being too weak or something. It's just like minor things which add up there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But right here we already see the Shadow Frost tier 3,
right,
so it didn't really take that much time.
Yeah, we've got like 8 minutes. Yeah, but we've got not exactly a pure mirror, because we've got 2 Shadow Orbs from King of Albanian and 2 Frost Orbs from Hirooo.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty important, I think, for the match, because if you choose a tier 3 in Shadow Frost Mirrors, or in Shadow Frost in general, you pretty much go either for like the OP Timeless one tier 3 or the Cold Master tier 3, which is pretty good and used to be pretty good for a very long time, but it gets actually pretty destroyed by Timeless one. Not only because Timeless one just counters Cult Masters just to its ability, it also bypasses a pretty common way to play with Cult Masters, which is Evocator's Woe, which blocks spells. I mean, in this case, it blocks DCC from Frost players, allowing for pretty good tempo push, but Timeless one, well, it bypasses this restriction, so yeah. And we actually saw some situations where the Frost player wasn't paying attention to the Shadow Frost player doesn't, in this case it was King of Albanian, not paying attention to the HP of his well, and got hit by a Silverwind Nasty.
He's got tons of power.
Hero just pushed with Cursed Well, which is a pretty good card in such mirror games where you know, it's pretty hard to attack, and you just need a way to push through. But I mean, Kurzweil, it costs 160 or 200 power.
Yeah, something like that.
More.
I thought it was
so
like
it costs a lot of power.
Right, but it's a permanent power advantage, right?
Yeah, but you lose tempo. I mean, you lose like a Grigory of tempo, and I mean, if you can afford it due to like Timeless One and so,
right,
it's a pretty good way to get something going in such games like Cruel Frost Mirror, for example, or like Shadow Frost Mirror.
They're both running Kurzweil, right?
Yeah. It wasn't. It was for a long time. It was pretty common to run it.
Right.
Because it hasn't really a counterplay, so yeah, it's just yeah, it's a pretty simple design card, and it did what it did. So
yeah,
if there's no other way to break through, then well.
Right. Exactly. It's like 100% guaranteed. Well, slowly, but you know.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. There's absolutely no counterplay.
Yeah, and on large maps like this, as I said earlier, the tempo you lose from spending such a power amount isn't really that important, because you're not really afraid of an instant counter push. Right. It's more like a dynamic where if you have to defend, that was.
Yeah, he probably had power for another Silverwind on the side.
Yeah, he probably should just thought either it's gonna be enough, or Hero is using a protect or repair anyways, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But from what I thought, I didn't really catch a shield building from Hero right until now, or am I wrong?
I haven't seen one from him. Could be, I mean, haven't looked at it, but...
He wasn't in the position to use it anyways, because the wells he lost were due to Kurzweil, right?
Wow. So this one could have been scary.
Yeah.
Hirooo is not running Grigori's, or is he just waiting until he's got like way too much power?
I think he doesn't run them. I mean, in 1v1, even though Grigori was pretty strong, a very strong part of the Grigori was the Nasty, which got nerfed. I mean, prior to the nerf, you used to like hit and Nasty combination to like clear full base, and that wasn't possible anymore. So even though Grigori still was a pretty strong card, it lost some of its offensive potential, I would say.
For sure.
And I mean, I don't know if it's the correct way to cut it completely in 1v1, but I mean, there's some argument for this. So.
So here I saw that King of Albanian was not repairing as well. And for a while I thought that was a mistake, and then I realized it's because he's just going to get Kurzweiled, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, you still can, if you have the time, you should always repair your well, because you lose no power over time. I mean, you get your 100% refund from repairing wells, and if you can afford it, if you can afford to lose the tempo, you should always do it, even though there's a Kurzweil, because if he uses Kurzweil on... it doesn't really matter which well he Kurzweiled, right?
Right.
I don't know. It still might be a situation where like a Silverwind Lancer runs straight through the well and force you to like shield building it.
Right. Because
you still have to defend it, because if you just argue about him using a Kurzweil on it, he might just kill the well by a unit and Kurzweil another well. So.
Yeah, that's true. So you think he should repair this then?
Yeah, but I think he can't really afford it right now. I mean, he has like 200 power, which is a lot, but the standing army of Hero is probably worth like 400 power, and spending 100 to 150 power on repairing a power well right now might cost him more than it offers him.
No.
Also,
did he motivate? He motivated his Grigori.
That's actually one of the best parts about Motivate, in my opinion, that it scales not based on its own power, it scales on your units. So motivating doesn't get worse compared to other spells like for example, in Lava Field or an Eruption, which have like a base value. Cards like Motivate or, for example, Life Weaving do scale way better because they scale up on the units you cast them on.
Right. To me, this game looks like it's Heroes, and it's just going to take another 15 minutes to end.
That's actually... It might be due to the fact that Hero doesn't run Grigori.
Okay.
Because, I mean, even though I said earlier that you might not really necessarily need Grigori, because you could like rely on Timeless One defense in combination with Cursewell. Right here, Hero lacks a kind of breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously he can destroy a lot of power wells with Cursewell and get an advantage. It still doesn't really completely break to the Cultmaster defense. Also, Cultmasters are, because the Nightcrawlers they spawn are M counters, they obviously do pretty well against Silverwind Lancers.
Yeah, and the Timeless Ones.
Yeah. It's basically... And Ashbone Pyros are, funnily enough, on match like this, they lose some power, because they basically lose their half of the HP by running.
Right, that's true.
So in order to really push an attack, Hero might like consider to take a closer well position. But yeah, I mean he's still winning. He has a huge advantage. So I think, but I'm not 100. I mean, charges don't seem to be a problem right now.
Yeah, but they probably will be soon. I think he's out of Grigori's, unless he's running 2.
No, I only saw the red one now, for now, and I don't think anybody should ever use 2 Grigori's, at least not in a 1v1 deck. And probably, I mean, there are obviously games where it might be helpful to have like 2 XL units in tier 3. 95% of the time, it's useless. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hero is just running around and stalling for a Cursewell, I think.
Yeah. It's also it's a big pressure though, because not respecting the Silverwind Lancers means like he can. There was the Cursewell.
Yeah.
Means like he can get hit by the Cursewell at any time. So.
Right. He should probably use a Frostbite on him because he's got it in his deck.
Yeah. But he wouldn't have. We wouldn't be able to kill them. And maybe Hero was just waiting for King of Albanian to spend like a Frostbite or like a CC. He was in range for the Cursewell anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, he was running around, so my guess is he was stalling for like a cooldown or something.
Yeah, or he was just waiting, seeing if King of Albanian would like expand some power there.
Maybe.
Get some power out of him. Yeah. I mean, generally the Grigori should be pretty good in this situation because it's like the only XL unit right now in the game. But as you can see, Timeless One in combination with the damage output from Ashbone Pyros is enough to defend everything. What?
How did this well heal? Oh, it still went down. I guess Cursewell.
Yeah, also the Silverwind Lancers got buffed by Life Weaving, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, but it healed. I didn't see when it healed all the way. I guess he just stopped attacking for a second.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention there. Yeah, as you can see, both players probably expecting right now that the game is gonna last through like a bit longer.
Yeah.
So they are rebuilding wells, even though it's not really a good move. That late in the game, in such games where you expect them to last like for at least 10 more minutes, there you can actually consider building new wells.
Right, exactly.
Because even though a power well technically pays off after like 200 seconds, in order to get value out of it, you need at least, I would say, 500 seconds, because the power you spend on a power well is is bound and doesn't like speed up your
exactly
power circulation. So.
Why does he keep nastying the Silverwinds?
Yeah, it's obviously it's not really as efficient, but my guess is that he thinks it doesn't really matter, and he might even considering pushing his score up right now by like spending power not very much, not in the best way. And like this match, he was pretty efficient. He even used the frostbite on the Silvermans. So, and here you can see that Hero really lacks a way to push through. I mean, this Ashbone Pyrus, as I said, they lose basically half their life, and are pretty.
Right.
It's not, they are not utilized to their full value in offense at least. I mean, he can still use them to defend against Grigorius and so on, but.
And do you think the hero is afraid of something like Voidstorm?
No, because I'm not sure when this was played, but I'm pretty sure it was after Voidstorm got pushed to Pure Shadow.
Oh, was it Pure Shadow? I thought it was two Shadow.
No. It was when Voidstorm first got introduced into PvP. It was reduced from tier 4 to tier 3, I think. So people start using it. I think there was a period of time where it was horrible because whenever you used Voidstorm, the full game crashed due to the so-called Voidstorm bug. After they fixed it, it became pretty annoying to deal with because, especially in combination with Grigori Nesty, it was a pain. I mean, you barely could do anything to push forward. There was a player called Abama. I don't know if you ever played against him or heard of him, but he used Shadow Frost tier 3 with Church of with Church of Negation. I mean, we could stop here and talk about the monument which just dropped, which I don't think it really matters a lot because he's rebuilding instantly, and King of Albanian is out of Grigori charges right now. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and the power difference is pretty huge.
Yeah, still, I mean, it's not really decisive right now because both get low on charges.
And the score is comparable. Hirooo was just completely dominating the score.
Yeah, that's about it. Maybe, I mean, in the end, there are still ways to manipulate the score.
Right.
Later on, so the player with more energy resources will probably win because he can just manipulate the score faster. So I don't know. But I mean, this game was pretty. I think the only tier 2 cards we saw were like freezes, a few Nightcrawlers,
some Dark Elf Assassins,
a Mountaineer, and a Reaver. I'm not sure.
What?
But
Reaver.
And one Mountaineer was actually swapped earlier, right?
Right.
So kind of sad. But that's a problem of random generated maps in general, I think. Some of them are just pretty huge and make it, Yeah,
and the other problem is that if this were one player was fire, this would be over.
Yeah, maybe not over, but it gives some advantages, let's say. Big advantages. Especially for Shadow Frost. Shadow Frost usually has pretty hard time dealing with, cliff dancers. Where like other fractions maybe I don't know, Fire Frost wouldn't have that big of problems because they have better counters like Skyfire Drake.
Right.
But Shadow Frost doesn't have something like that, so they are they get some problems there. And right here we saw an attempt of King of Albanian taking a close well, which didn't pay off due to Cursewell.
The score is King of Albanian actually came out ahead for
somehow. It's interesting.
Is this the point where they start camping and?
We could try to measure the energy both players have. I mean, Hero has 600 volt, 200, and I don't know how much energy he has spawned in units right now.
Yeah.
But
looks like more in units for sure, though.
Yeah, but in the end he still has to utilize his power. Otherwise, the score is not favoring him. So
yeah. I guess he's healing up. Why? Just to heal up, I guess.
Maybe he's trying to start a very big push with a lot of. It's because he's for sure short on charges on Ashbound Pyro right now. Yeah,
exactly.
So, I mean, attacking with one Ashbound Pyro is not gonna get him anywhere. So he probably tries to get a lot of units. Yeah, and that's actually the point we were talking about earlier, where the lack of like a Grigori or something like this, a bigger nuke unit, might actually hurt him. But I mean, 99% of the time the Cursewell abuse should have won him the game right now. But in the end, both players in this, it's a mirror, right? So it evens each other out.
Yeah, but I think Hero definitely had. Oh, maybe not. Hero's got more wells though. So
the thing is, because the tier 1 and tier 2 were like basically skipped. I mean, there was a tier 1 fight, so maybe skipping is the wrong word. But most of the action in this game was based on tier 3.
Can I just complain for a second about how strong Grigori is in defense and offense?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty strong card. In my opinion, though, the most annoying thing about Grigori was that it was playable in so many decks. I mean, I'm not maybe not the best person to judge, because I usually played Grigori in every single deck, even in Shadow Nature decks and Stonekin decks, and I don't know, in every deck. But I feel like they should have maybe pushed Grigori into at least 2 Frost or 2 Shadow Orbs. I'm not sure.
Probably 2 Shadow, just to like make the Timeless one combo with it a little worse.
Yeah, I think. But it's a pretty strong card, no other less. Yeah. And here we are at the point where they are so short on charges that they actually start using tier 2 units, at least King of Albanian does. And this next actually was pretty good, because not only did a hero use a freeze, but also he's using tier 2 energy to kill tier 3 energy right now, which is pretty good. I mean, and as we can see, the Rels, they start doing it. Oh god.
Yep.
I actually hate it. I hate that this is a thing, because I mean, the score was designed to reward normally, or I think it should reward the more aggressive players, because the more aggressive player normally uses more energy because he cycles faster. So I think the idea of the tie-breaking score is to reward the player who I'm not sure how to pronounce how to say this correctly, but I mean the more active player should get the higher score. And I'm not sure if this is ever something which was intended by, I don't know. I don't know. It's at least it's funny, right?
Yeah, King of Albanian is winning actually.
Yeah, he started doing it first.
So now we're just gonna sit here and wait for it.
Yeah, I guess there's not much happening.
Yeah, I feel like
next.
Oh wait, it's close though. It's close. I feel like Hero maybe, I don't know. Should he hope he has more power, or should he just try and rush him in like the minute left?
He also could use units and kill them instantly to boost his score a bit more. I'm not sure if he's afraid of running out of energy to rebuild and destroy his orb though.
Yeah, because he started doing it. When you do this, you lose it permanently, right?
Yeah, you lose 25 energy every time you do it.
maybe he should have started, because he started like a minute and a half ago. He could have started with just all of his tier 1 units.
Yeah.
And maybe he'd have more power at this point.
I mean, you probably can't calculate it, but I'm sure that if he doesn't push through, at least it's not worth to spam units anymore, because he will not. I mean, at least from building and destroying the orb, you lose 25 energy, but you get 75 score instantly.
Oh, Hirooo caught back up.
100 score instantly, and you lose only 25, so you get 75 instantly. Yeah, and
Hirooo passed him. Probably because of this big army right here.
God. It was like, it looks like it was worth it in the end. Maybe someone should have built like a tier 4 to get more orbs, to abuse this strategy a bit more. This was actually a pretty. I don't know if I think this was actually a tie. So I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I
won it, but
I'm a chess player, so I'm okay with ties. But I agree with you. I think ties should be okay. But,
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is obviously not the way a game should end, I think.
Yeah. Well, still, at least it's entertaining to watch it every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching.